There are moments in life when the world pulls the light out of you. Not suddenly, not violently, but slowly, quietly, silently, like a tide that retreats without a sound, leaving you standing in a place that no longer feels familiar. You look around and realize the ground beneath your feet has cracked, the sky above you has dimmed, and your heartbeat echoes louder than your hope. There are days when the weight of your own existence feels unbearable, when simply breathing feels like a responsibility you didn't sign up for, when you lie awake at night, staring at a ceiling that stares back at you with the same emptiness you feel inside. And maybe, just maybe, you wonder if you've reached the end of the road, not because you're weak, but because everything around you has fallen apart. But let me tell you something. The world never taught you. The breaking of the spirit is not the end of the spirit. It is the beginning of its transformation. There is a place beneath your pain where something ancient lives, something older than fear, older than hope, older than the person you believe yourself to be. It is the silent, unyielding core of who you are, the part of you that refuses to vanish, even when everything else does. You may not notice it at first. It whispers instead of roars. It flickers instead of burns. But it is there waiting, watching, calculating the exact moment to rise. The unbreakable spirit. The part of you forged not in victory, but in collapse. Forged not in comfort, but in fire. Forged not through ease, but through the brutal necessity of survival. You see, people often mistake fragility for failure. They think that crying, hurting, struggling are signs of weakness, but they are not. They are signs that you are still fighting, still breathing, still refusing to disappear. If life truly wanted to break you, it would not leave you with the capacity to feel. Pain is not the enemy, it is the compass. It points toward the place you must go, the part of you that needs to evolve. There will be moments when the storm seems endless, when the rain hits your skin like needles, when lightning cracks open the sky and reveals the truth you tried so hard to outrun. You will fall to your knees. You will question your worth. You will curse the silence that answers back. But in that silence, in that unbearable stillness, something shifts. A tiny ember glows in the dark corner of your mind, reminding you that not all light comes from the outside. Some light comes from within. At first, it feels small, almost insignificant, a fleeting warmth in a world made of cold blue shadows. But when you place your trembling hands around it, when you protect it from the wind of your doubts, it begins to pulse, slowly, softly, steadily. And then you realize, this ember is you. The you that has survived every heartbreak, every rejection, every sleepless night, every disappointment that tried to bury you. The unbreakable spirit is not something you discover. It is something you remember. Because you were never meant to live small. You were never meant to collapse under the weight of your circumstances. You were never meant to surrender to the darkness. You were built to walk through it. There comes a moment in every journey when the road ahead is invisible, when all you can see is fog, uncertainty, confusion, when you question everything, your purpose, your identity, your strength. And in that moment, the universe asks you a question, so quiet most people never hear it. What are you willing to become? Not what are you willing to achieve? Not what are you willing to gain? But what are you willing to become? Because before the spirit can be unbreakable, it must be broken open. Pain cracks the shell you outgrew. Fear exposes the lies you believed. Loss removes the things that were never meant to stay. Chaos clears the path for rebirth. And the moment you understand this, the moment you stop seeing your struggles as punishment and start seeing them as preparation, everything changes. You begin to move differently, not faster, not stronger, but with purpose. The kind of purpose that comes from knowing the storm is not there to drown you. It's there to reveal the depths of your strength. You take a step, not because the ground is safe, but because you trust your ability to walk. You breathe not because the air is easy, but because breathing is your first act of defiance. You rise not because the world is kind, but because your spirit refuses to stay down. That is when the wind shifts, That is when the sky begins to crack open. That is when the ember inside your chest becomes a flame. Not a loud, destructive flame, but a controlled, intentional fire. The fire of someone who has seen hell and decided to keep walking anyway. This fire does not burn you. It illuminates you. It reveals the parts of you that fear kept hidden. It melts away the chains that doubt wrapped around your heart. It awakens a part of your soul that has been asleep for far too long. And now everything looks different. The mountain that once seemed impossible is no longer a threat. It is a challenge. The darkness that once terrified you is no longer a prison. It is a canvas. The obstacles that once paralyzed you are no longer barriers. They are invitations. An invitation to become someone new, someone stronger, someone wiser, someone unbreakable. Because the unbreakable spirit is not given, it is forged. Forged in the nights you cried in silence. Forged in the battles you fought alone. Forged in the moments you thought you were done. Yet somehow, you stood up anyway. Forged in every I can't that became I will. Forged in every I'm tired that became just one more try. In Alfer so my ben, and very fall let brie. Forged in every falling apart that led to falling into place. The world may take everything from you, your plans, your certainty, your comfort, but it cannot take the one thing you refuse to surrender, your spirit. And your spirit is ancient, older than fear, stronger than pain, more persistent than despair. It has survived every storm, every season,
glory,
every version of you that no longer exists.
Forevermore.
It will survive this one too. There will come a day when you stand in a place that once broke you, and you will not feel fear. You will feel gratitude, because what once shattered you has become the reason you shine. What once weakened you has become the source of your strength. What once felt like the end has become the beginning of who you were always meant to be. People will look at you and see your calm. They will admire your resilience, your stability, your quiet power. But they will not understand the fire that forged it. They will not see the nights you spent holding yourself together. They will not hear the silent screams or the quiet prayers. They will not know how hard it was to believe in yourself again. But you will know, and that knowing is your crown. You will walk through the world differently, not with arrogance, but with certainty. Not with pride, but with presence. Not with noise, but with gravity. Because the unbreakable do not need to prove themselves. Their existence is proof enough. And when life tests you again, because it will, you will not collapse. You will not retreat. You will not break. You will remember. You will remember the fire. You will remember the climb. You will remember the rebirth. You will remember that the spirit inside you is not made of glass. It is made of stars. Stars that collapse and explode and reform into something brighter. Stars that burn through darkness effortlessly. Stars that guide lost travelers across endless night. You are one of them. You always have been. And the moment you accept this, the moment you stop seeing yourself as fragile and start seeing yourself as fire, you become unstoppable. Not because you never fall, not because you never fear, but because nothing within you stays broken for long. Your spirit reconstructs itself again and again and again. There is no limit to the number of times you can rise. There is no expiration date on resilience. There is no measure to the depth of human will. You are the living proof of that. Every breath you take is evidence. Every step you force yourself to make is testimony. Every sunrise you witness is a reminder that darkness does not win. It only tests. And once the test ends, the unbreakable emerge. Not as who they were, but as who they chose to become. So stand. Even if your legs shake, rise. Even if your heart aches, walk forward. Even if the path is unclear. Because the spirit within you is not asking for perfection. It is asking for persistence. It is asking for you to try. One more time, one more step, one more breath. And when you do, the world shifts. The horizon expands. The sky opens. The fire lifts. And you become the unbreakable. Ascend, Achieve, Boss, Awaken. Rise, take control.